Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I'm going to show you guys some things that I have on consignment, a few things that I bought. Let me pull this a little closer. Then I'm also going to show you guys two submissions well, two parts of a submission. They weren't that big. One that I cracked out of PSA cases, sent them back to CGC, or sent them to CGC, and then I actually cracked some CGC cards out of CGC cases and sent them back to CGC. So we're going to see how those grades fared. But first we're going to start off with some of the stuff that I have on consignment. We've got now a lot of these are probably already in auction, but if not, they will be pretty soon. Nice reverse holo Charmander, Hakama, Pikachu, Jolteon VMAX, got a Nagaba. And if you guys are interested, I have thrown a lot of stuff up in auction. Some of it my personal collection. Nice special delivery Charizard. This was actually free from Mr. Pariah, West Bragg from the chat. If you guys know him, I bought his Dark Charizard. He talked about it in our last stream. Here, I'll pull out and show the conditions so let you guys see kind of what's going on there. He threw in this special delivery Charizard for free, which was really cool of him. And this Dark Charizard, I think looking at the condition, I mean, it's pretty rough in like the picture, the holographic part, and then around the edges. I'd probably put it about maybe a 4 or 5. If it were me, I'd probably give it a 4. I'm thinking it could get a 5, 6 on a really good day. If it got higher than a 6, I mean, it really should not get higher than a 6. So pretty cool there, though, just to see that Dark Charizard come out. The second first edition Charizard to ever come out, right? All right, next up we have Mew, 25th anniversary. What else? We got another Nagaba, Pikachu V. Got an Acerolas Intuition. Is that what it was? Yeah. Got the old blue label, so that would be a new gold label. There's a Blastoise. Got the Bulbasaur Charizard. Nice looking Altart Charizard EX. This is the Metal Muse. Check them out. They're pretty heavy. Pulled the Gem Mint 10s. I'm still waiting on mine to come out. I submitted mine like they would have been there probably on release day. So I'm surprised mine haven't graded yet. Maybe it's because I submitted so many of them. I sent in a lot. Nice looking OC Mew V. You can kind of see how far off it is. There's a Mewtwo V-Star Ninetales EX. Got a Pikachu and got a Professor's Research with the Perfect 10. You're not going to see any more of those. If you're looking for a perfect card, it's not going to happen anymore. All right, these two I bought from PWCC. Got the Pristine pre-release Aerodactyl. I mean, it was only like $400 or $500 if I'm thinking right. And then we got the Pristine 10 on the Ancient Mew, which this would be a new gold label. So probably going to have that one recased. Got these from Cam. I sent him some Charizard coins. He graded them. The deal was I get one of the 10s. He sent me this 10, but he also sent me some bonuses. He sent me a 9. Why, thank you. And then he also sent me a 5. He actually said that he took a box cutter to this one, cut up several times. You can actually see it. And he was trying to get a 1, but somehow he still got a 5. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is actually pretty rough, pretty deep box cutter slashes on that thing. You probably have to let it sit out in the rain and rust a little bit or chip a little bit of it off. And then these are not yet up, but these will be up for sale. Guys, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving too. Don't forget to take a little break off. But we have Dark Charmeleon and we have a Nidoking. So these will be up for in a listing very soon. I just got those in right before the video, and I wanted to make sure that they got in on the video because I know he likes to have his cards put up very quickly. All right, let's start off with the CGC return. So here's what I'll do. I'll try to... So this is the old label. So this is the old grade, 8.5. So Rocket's Mewtwo. And it went from an 8.5 to a 9. And these were all ones that I pulled directly out of a sealed pack. And when I got them back, I was like, man, it just seems like it's pretty rough for an 8.5, which it didn't upgrade too much. It did upgrade to a 9, but you can see it's got like one dot up there. It almost felt like the old grading scale. I was like, man, I didn't even see like a print line in it. Centering was fantastic. I still think 9's... This is a very strong 9, but did see an upgrade, so probably not worth it to resubmit on that one, but I still got it. Here's another Rocket's Mewtwo that I sent in. Again, this was an 8.5, and it also went to a 9. Same kind of story there. I thought it looked pretty clean. I mean, these, like I said, these come from a sealed pack. I don't think I got a single 10 in the pack, which was a little bummer. All right, this one was a 9, and it went to... Actually stayed the same at a mint 9. You can kind of see right there the backside. All right, next up we have got a Rocket's Hitmonchan. This one was an 8.5 again. and it pulled out the 9. So still seeing a few half grade upticks. Nothing too crazy so far. I mean, I didn't submit, nothing too low yet. So, all right, again, this is another 8.5 for the Rockets Hitmonchan, and this one pulled the 8.5 again. So had 2 that come back the same, and then 3 that had a 0.5 upgrade. Usually I do a little better, but all right, this Rockets Hitmonchan was an 8.5, and it come back an 8.5. Almost makes me want to try again. Man, they look strong. All right, so this Lucky Stadium was an 8.5. Now it was like 20-ish or so Lucky Stadiums. I opened all of them from sealed packs. Usually these aren't that tough to get in a 10, but I don't think I got a single 10 out of those 23. And I busted out, I believe, 2 or 3 of the best ones that I had, and this one went to a 9. Kind of see it. It's not centered very well. But overall, I thought the condition on it was really optimal, so I gave it a shot. All right, we had another 8.5 on this Lucky Stadium. This one's centered much better, and we did see a decent uptick right here. Pulled the 10, which is Lucky Stadium. It's an English exclusive back from the WotC days. Very tough to find. I've actually got a Lucky Stadium and a Pokemon Center sealed, graded PSA 10. Being sold, in which PSA, I specified them when I sent them in years ago, but then when I had them recased, I lost the cert numbers. So I don't know which is which. So both of them are up, and it just says it could be a Lucky Stadium or Pokemon Center, but I've got them up now in auction, starting at a penny. I don't know how many of those are ever going to show up sealed. And then last, for the CGC return, this previously was a 9.5, and it did upgrade to a 10, which a lot of these Salamence, they looked fantastic. I mean, the edges were so clean on them. Again, it was a sealed pack that I had. I busted all these from sealed packs, and I submitted most of the cards that were in them. All right, next we're going to do PSA to CGC. All right. Wait, it's not this first one. First 2 cards. Oh, already revealed the Lapras. We'll put those off the side. These 2 I just graded with the submission. I thought they were kind of cool. Had some Greninjas that were off center, and they did pull the 9. You can kind of see the error is that it's a misalignment, because on the front they're centered well, but on the back they're not. So that meant the front and the back was not aligned correctly, versus being off center, which you would have both the front and the back being cut incorrectly. All right, so this Lapras right here I submitted because you see this deep line. This come from the booster pack. I pulled it myself. I was hoping to get an error designation. Pulled the 6. They did not. Neither PSA nor CGC gave it the error designation. You can't see the grade difference. PSA gave it a 6, CGC gave it an 8, and then there's no error designation there. So kind of a bummer. I wanted to have that little error thing on it, but it didn't happen. All right, so this one right here, this is a pinched layer, Arcanine. PSA does not recognize this error, but I've been told that CGC does, and you can tell it's a pinched layer because it's an obvious wrinkle in the holofoil, and then if you look at the condition, I mean, it's just, there's nothing there. It's not like it's a bend or something that happened. This one I've had in my collection for so long, but I tried grading it with PSA. They gave it a 3. And then CGC also did not recognize the pinched layer error, and they gave it a 5. So, again, kind of unfortunate, but it happens, right? All right, next. This one right here is very saturated. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's like super green. I didn't know if CGC or PSA would recognize this. I don't think I've seen too many places recognize it. I mean, I guess it'd be like extra ink or something like that, but PSA gave it a 6. They just kind of knocked it down. And then, to my surprise, I did get a 9 on this one, which it is fairly clean. I mean, you can kind of see on the front there what's going on the back. I mean, you don't see really any damage. So the 9, I don't necessarily disagree with that grade. I was hoping that it would get an error saturated qualifier, but it did not on this one. All right, next up, Scyther. Again, this one is like super green, got extra ink kind of going on. This one not in as good a shape. So on the back side here, you can kind of see like the wear around the edges. So this one was solely an error play, but again, it did not get the designation. Which this one and the Nidoking were kind of a stretch, but you can kind of see the grade was a little better with CGC with the 6.5, but I mean 0.5 at the 6 range really doesn't help out much. With the Snorlax, this one I thought was undergraded. You can kind of see it. I mean, it looks fairly clean on the front. And then on the back side, no, I do not want to restart my computer. And you can see on the back, I mean, it's fairly clean there too. It does have a little bit of a lip there, right there in the middle. But PSA was a 7, and then I regraded it. CGC pulled the 8.5. So it wasn't too much of an upgrade, but again, it was one of those things where it was worth a shot. All right, here's a Hitmonchan. This is another one of those best of game cards that I pulled sealed from a pack. Originally graded a PSA 8, and then it upgraded to the 9.5. So did see a 1.5 grade bump. That's probably getting pretty close to being worth it. I don't know if you factor in the grading fees and everything, how much it's worth it. But, you know, if you could get some 10s out of these like we did with that Lucky Stadium, a lot of times it's worth it. But I very rarely do this stuff, but it's kind of cool to see when it comes back. All right, Hitmonchan winner. Again, this one was an 8, and looks like it bumped to a 9. I would have loved to have had a 10 collection for these reverse holo best of game, but I didn't get it from my seal packs. I don't know if it's going to happen. All right, this one I tried submitting. This is a Theme Deck Ninetales, and I tried submitting it with the stain qualifier, but it says other substance. It's stuck in the sleeve, so I guess they wouldn't grade it because it was stuck. Let's see if we can get it out. Well, it seemed to come out pretty easy. But yeah, you can see like that's the Theme Deck residue. Once you open up a Theme Deck, like it comes out like that. I've got several still in their little thing, but beautiful condition other than that. So I don't know if they're saying they couldn't get it out. If they're saying that, they didn't really try. But if they were doing it because the substance maybe made it too sticky to grade or something like that, I kind of understand that. But I wish they would recognize it. I know PSA used to do it. I've seen SM Pratt. He's had some before with the stain qualifier. I can never get a company to recognize it though. Like I've got so many of them, but they all just get either graded really low or just get rejected altogether. But before it was just a 4. That was the grade that they had at PSA. All right. Next up we have Rocket's Mewtwo. This one was an 8. Again, I tried regrading it and we pulled the 9.5. So this one did a little bit better than those last ones where they just kind of stayed the same or they bumped 0.5. Where are we at? That's the wrong one. So this one right here was just graded a 6, and it was solely because it had to be because of the centering. Because if you look at the card, like there was no reason that this should have been a 6, but the centering was off. And I tried getting the off-center designation, but it did not get it. Still got the 9, which I find kind of crazy because that's like 3 times the width of the bottom. So I would have thought that if they still gave it a 9, they would have given it an OC or off-center grade, but they did not. So I'm not sure the percentages. I guess you can go as much as, I mean, that's like between 70-30 and 80-20, I would think, between a 3-1 and a 5-1 or 4-1. Between a 2-1 and a 4-1, because you jump, that's probably like 75-25 at the. It might even be worse than that because if you take that and you multiply that by 3, you're probably getting at least that. But I'm doing this by eyeball too, so I'm not sure the exact measurements that you have to still get a 9. But I would have thought that would have got the OC grade. All right, next up we have Nidoqueen. Again, this is one that has the pinch layer, which this one runs to the edge. You can kind of see it right there across the corner, but if you flip this thing over, like there is absolutely no damage right there. It's this corner. Are we looking at the wrong corner? Oh yeah, looking at the wrong corner. That was an awkward 10 seconds, but yeah, there's no damage there. I'm kind of putting the light over it. It's just a pinched layer where you can see it. These are the only 2 that I've ran across in a while. I think I probably had a few from modern stuff, but it's been a long time. You don't see these very often. PSA did not recognize it as a pinched layer. They just graded it as a 5. And CGC did the same thing. They did not recognize the error. They just bumped it down to a 6 for the grade. So again, a little fail there on trying to get the qualifier. All right, next up we have Mewtwo EX. And this is one that I was trying to get the OC grade for. You can see how thin it is on the right. It's a little bit like the top to bottom's off too. You can see it here on the back. Again, this one isn't very strong, but I would think that the you could see it. I mean, it's pretty prevalent. You don't see any white dots for the what do you call it? The like where you hone in. I can't even think of this. Like the little center dots. Usually that's what you want to look for to have an off center. And we didn't see that on this one or that Mew that I was talking about. But PSA just downgraded it to a 6 instead of grading it. I guess you can go as low as 6 without having to give the OC. I'm not really too sure. I don't think I've seen a 5 before on an OC. But CGC gave it an 8, so they also did not give it the error designation. So for this order, I got a few error designations, but not many. I did see some upgrades, which was pretty good. I think I saw better results with the ones I crossed over from CG or PSA back to CGC, and then the ones I crossed from CGC back to CGC again. I saw a few upticks, but not. I think the biggest I saw was like a 0.5, right? Maybe it was a little bit more, but some of them were exact the same. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think. I hope you guys have a very happy Thanksgiving. You guys take some time off, enjoy everything. I know we've got Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up. I think I've got like 500 auctions or something ending over 2 days, which is a lot for me. I'm not Z&G over here. Well, there's gonna be a busy Monday. Sunday night maybe. I might be coming into work about 2 o'clock and then trying to work on these shipments. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in a video next week.